Okay, we just got home from a motorcycle ride back in the Batcave. So, you guys haven't seen me. So I figured I would show you something cool. Not everybody told me that I would fail, that I couldn't keep it alive. I could barely keep myself alive, right? But against all odds, look what I've done. Now, her name is Rhaenyra Targaryen, second of her name. I've never been in the plants. This is my first attempt at trying to grow a plant. You know, it's weird, but it actually makes me feel less lonely knowing there's a plant here. Some living organism, unless you want to, count Mr. Avocado there. On other news, my favorite pair of gray pants I ripped mysteriously. So a tailor, this lady, went and made a patch. It's like old school 90s skateboarding, patching up your pants. The only problem for me is that since I've got back in shape, I'm not going to say got back in shape, since I've lost the weight, however it happened, I only have very few clothes. So now these went from something I could wear to like a business formal, or what do you call it? Whatever you grown up business people do, to now being, me, grungy. Some guy stuck in the 90s, even though that wasn't even my generation. I'm a child of the 2000s. So I grew up with Power Rangers and Ninja Turtles and, Batman the animated series, X-Men, stuff like that. 90s, I was very young. So the most impressionable decade, I would say, was the 2000s. So that's, obviously when I was in my teenage. And that's, I take that back. Because I'd have been, just turning about 18 in the beginning of that new decade. So maybe I am a child in the 90s. Anybody who knows that will remember. What I'm trying to say is I was not a teenager in the 90s. Meaning I wasn't skateboarding, hanging out with Kurt Cobain and all that. I was a little kid playing with action figures and, watching Star Wars on DVD 100 times and things like that. 2000s, I was a teenager. So I was then, skateboarding, listening to Simple Plan, and watching the show Jackass. So we'd go skateboarding through Gurney Mills Mall and, have security guards chasing us. Back then it was cool to be a rebel. So have fat security guards chase you and try to impress the girls by doing dumb stuff. I look back on all that life, and it was just wasted. It was wasted. It's been over 3 years now. I've been here in Vietnam. It took me this long to realize some things about my life that I never would have found unless I came here. Good, bad, somewhere in between. I do know this though. No one can ever say to me that I did not keep my word when it comes to my dreams, that I didn't follow through with what I said would be my future. No one can ever say that I didn't manifest and keep my promise and oath and travel to the other side of the world, as I spoke of for decades. I did it, and no one could take that away from me. It's a special club that you join when you choose this life. You lose your family. You lose your culture. You lose the comfort, but you gain so much more if you're willing to endure it. Now, as I've always tried to stress on my channel, that my experience is the 1% of the 1% who do this. So, as I've always said, do not be one of these Ho Chi Minh City, Saigon teachers. Don't be one of these people who just stay in expat bubbles. If you look around yourself right now, so any of you who are out teaching in different countries right now, if you look around yourself and your group of friends or people from your own country or people who speak your own language, well then shame on you. You're craven. You're cowards. How is this ever a challenge to you? How can you even compare? How can you even sit at the same table with me and talk about you and I? Like you've achieved, yes, you've achieved something. Coming to the other side of the world is still something to be proud of. But if all you do is surround yourself with people that are from your culture and the same food from your culture, and you never immerse yourself in the things that hurt. It hurts to adapt and assimilate to a different culture. It hurts. Your stomach will hurt as your food has to change to the bacteria. Your mind will hurt as you are isolated in every single conversation because you don't speak the language. Your heart will hurt as your family, and if you had friends and all of them back home in your country, move on without you, and life just goes on. Your body will hurt as you adjust to different things. For example, we don't have lazy boys here. Not everybody's sitting here with lazy boys and big old flat screen TVs and Xbox 5s, PlayStation 5s, whatever it is. Like, no, like, you know what people do for fun here? They play badminton. They play tennis. They go outside and fly kites. This dream of mine will be my life's legacy. And if you were to hit the in-game button right now, if you were to say, okay, time's up, I would honestly, I think I'd say maybe 87% sure, 87.2.2221% sure that I'd be okay with that. You know why? Because what would you, the people watching, what would all of you, friend, foe, lovers, betrayers, family, co-workers, just everyone whose life that I've been in orbit, or vice versa, what would you remember me as this? Young, figure of speech. I'm not young, but you know what I mean. Young, free-spirited, and I never gave up. And my God has life thrown everything at me to get me to give up, and I refuse. I refuse. I will literally take this to the grave before I give up. It's not even a matter of achieving a certain objective anymore. It's more of a I will not go quietly, into that long night. Like, it's more of that I stand defiant. I stand with